50 toxic life lessons that actually made my life so much better. Life has a way of teaching us lessons in the most unexpected ways. Some of the hardest truths I've learned came wrapped in what many would call toxic experiences, behaviors, or mindsets. At first, they seemed detrimental, but over time, they shaped me into a stronger, wiser person. The irony is that what we often avoid, pain, rejection, failure, and confrontation, are the very things that mold us into who we are meant to be. I used to believe that giving people endless chances was a sign of kindness, but experience taught me that not everyone deserves a second chance. Cutting ties with those who drained my energy allowed me to focus on the people who truly mattered. In the same way, I realized that selfishness is not always a bad thing. Prioritizing myself, my health, and my happiness was essential in preventing burnout and resentment. There was a time when I felt the need to explain my choices to everyone, seeking validation and understanding. But the truth is, I owe no one an explanation for my personal decisions. Learning to say no without guilt was one of the most liberating experiences of my life. People will judge you no matter what, and trying to please everyone only leads to exhaustion. Perhaps one of the most painful lessons I learned was that walking away from family is sometimes the right choice. Society tells us that family is everything, but the reality is that not all family members act with love and respect. Choosing my own mental peace over toxic relatives was difficult, but necessary. It taught me that family is about connection, not just blood. When it came to my career, I once believed that hard work always pays off, but life showed me otherwise. Effort and perseverance are important, but sometimes success requires knowing when to pivot, when to let go, and when to seize the right opportunities. I also learned that my job does not define me. Tying my identity to my career was suffocating, and breaking free from that mindset allowed me to explore other passions. Money, for instance, can indeed buy happiness, not in the superficial way people think, but in the security, freedom, and peace of mind it brings. Love was another arena where harsh truths reshaped my perspective. I once believed that love alone was enough, but real relationships require effort, trust, and mutual respect. People can love you and still hurt you, and not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay. Cheating, heartbreak, and betrayal once crushed me, but in time they showed me what I truly deserve. I stopped chasing the idea of unconditional love and realized that healthy love includes boundaries, accountability, and respect. My mental health journey was one of the hardest but most rewarding parts of my growth. I discovered that therapy doesn't solve everything. Personal effort and self-awareness are just as important. I learned that being positive all the time is exhausting, and that true healing isn't a straight path. Rock bottom, though painful, became a blessing in disguise, forcing me to rebuild myself in ways I never imagined possible. Society has conditioned us to follow certain norms and expectations, but many of them are nonsense. Forgiveness, for instance, is often preached as a necessity, but I learned that it is optional. I don't need to forgive someone to move on. I also discovered that being nice does not guarantee good treatment. Some people will only respect you when you stop tolerating their behavior, and in the grand scheme of things, comparison is a losing game. Focusing on my own journey brought me far more peace than measuring myself against others ever did. At the end of the day, life is fleeting. Time is the most valuable currency we have, and I stopped wasting it on things that don't matter. What seemed toxic at first, loss, failure, rejection, and pain, were actually stepping stones to my best self. While I would have preferred to learn these lessons the easy way, I wouldn't trade the wisdom they brought me for anything. Sometimes the hardest truths are the most liberating ones.